Hello and Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. I'd like to thank everybody for joining me. There are others who may come in a little bit later, but I want to get right to it. I appreciate you taking the time to kind of click in and see what this was all about. I had mentioned it a few days ago, and just with the holidays and everything, just kept running out of time. So I said, I've got to do this tonight. So I know it's Christmas Eve, and I know a lot of people are spending time with family, as you should, maybe running around getting some last minute things done. I appreciate you taking the time to just sit with me and talk with me about the importance of sitting down and talking with our family members while they're here. This is an excellent opportunity for us all to be able to do that. If you have family coming around or you're just spending it with friends and loved ones, this is a time to be intentional to gather and capture some of those memories. And it doesn't have to be a very hard thing to do. So as you come in, if you just let me know where you're from and that you're here, and we'll get going. And I won't hold you long. Again, I think this is just kind of a tutorial for those of you who are expecting company throughout the holidays. You're going to be around people that you're not around all of the time. In the event that you have a few moments, what I aim to do is to give you some guidelines and some pointers about how to approach those people for a quick sit-down interview. I'll let you know the kinds of things that you need to have, the kinds of things that it would be good if you had, but you don't have to have them. And just give you some examples of some interviews I've done with my own family members, and some of the feedback that I've gotten back after seeing those interviews has been priceless. So again, I appreciate you taking the opportunity to be with me today. And I'm going to get started. Feel free to talk back to me. Can everybody hear me okay? Let me know in the comments. So here we go. Let me get my notes. The first thing that I would like to discuss is that I've been interviewing people for 30 years now as part of my job. I'm a news reporter at Live 5 News in Charleston, South Carolina. And it's my job to go up to people every day, ask them questions about what they do, what's going on, what they saw, what they smell, the who, what, why, when, where of it all. That's my job. And then tell stories based on the information, based on the data that I get. So what I would like for you to do is take this opportunity to kind of be a family historian, a family reporter. The easiest thing to do is to take your cell phone that you already have and just ask, hey, you mind if I catch some stories, some of those stories that you used to tell when you were growing up? You mind if I just record some of those? Talk to your people is so important. The asking the right questions, that's important. But the most important thing is having these conversations. So that's what this is about today. So the first thing, just ask. You never know. A lot of people maybe don't like to talk, or maybe some people can be grumpy. That goes to the art of interviewing. Who is the person that you're getting ready to interview? Who is the person you want to talk to? Perhaps you can appeal to them that they have a rich life that they have lived, and you would like to capture it. It's inspiring to you. You'd like to get it on camera. If possible, it'd be good if you had a tripod, but again, not necessary. If you have a tripod for your camera, or you can hold the camera steady enough where you can get it, that would be great. The other thing that would be good is if you had a microphone. Again, it's not a deal breaker if you don't, but if you just have your camera and you just want to hold that camera up and do the interview with that, make sure you're in a quiet room, a quiet setting with good lighting so that you can see the person that you're talking to. Doors closed so that you're not interrupted. And sometimes we get people around, everybody wants to kind of see what's going on. Well, that's fine. But the more people that you have in that space, in that room, the more opportunities you have for disruptions, the more opportunities you have for people to blurt out. And when they do that, they don't mean any harm, but then you can't hear exactly what was being said. And the second part of being a good interviewer is listening. You have to hear the answers to the questions that you've asked so that you know where to go from there. Perhaps they said something very powerful, very poignant. You don't want to just rush to the next question on your list. You want to let that soak in and ask a good follow-up question about that experience that they've shared with you. I have some examples here, but again, I'm trying to be very cognizant of your time, and I'll get to those. Again, talk to me in the comments. That's the only way I know that you're there, or you have anything specifically that you would like for me to mention. I do have a course coming out. It'll be coming out in January, and the sign up information, the link to sign up, is in the comment section. So if you're interested in going into this in greater detail at your own pace, it won't be live, but it'll be there online where you can click and watch it as many times as you want. And once you buy the course, it's yours forever. I will add to it, but you will always have access to that information. Asking the right questions. You want to steer away from questions that will give you a 1 or 2 word response. How are you doing? Fine. Where were you born? Georgia. You want to craft your questions a little bit better. Do you remember what you were doing on your 13th birthday? Tell me about that. That lends, that invites more conversation, a longer answer. And that's what you want to get to. Once you can get the person to feel comfortable and start talking, it shouldn't be a problem getting really good content. Another thing that you may want to do, and I'll have some questions that I'll provide. I'm just thinking about that too. If you sign up and leave your email address, I can make sure that you get some of those questions, conversation starters going. Crafting open-ended questions. You can develop a question roadmap ahead of time. This is, you got to do your homework. What are some things you want to get from this person? Do you want to know about specific things in your family history? Do you want to know how they dealt with certain things in their own lifetime? Write that down beforehand and realize the kind of person that you're talking to. Is this a person who's talkative? If you say hi, they're just going to talk to you for the next 15 minutes. That's a great person to be able to interview because they love to talk. Sometimes you come across people who are more reserved. Maybe they're shy. Maybe they aren't so forthcoming with their answers. You're going to have to craft some of those other kinds of questions to get them to open up. And when you're first starting out, maybe you don't want to jump right to the hard questions. Tell me about how hard it was growing up. Maybe you want to get into something that is a little more lighthearted. What do they like to do? Talk to them about that thing. Hey, how long have you been sewing? When did you really get into gardening? Tell me about that. Things like that. And once you do that, you kind of prime the pump and get them ready for other answers. I'm just about done. Active listening. You have to listen to the answers that they give. And then let those answers govern your next question. It's good to have a list of questions, but don't fall in love with your list. Fall in love with listening. They have honored you and given you this space to ask some questions. So listen to the answers and then just have a conversation back and forth. It is so important to talk to your people. How do I know? Well, here's how I know. About 10 years ago, and I've done this off and on, I'm kind of the family historian. Not really. There are others who do it way better, but I like documenting it. One time I would just take my camera with me everywhere I went, and I was able to get people to open up to me and talk with me. One of those interviews that I'm very proud of is one that I did with my grandmother, and I would like to share it here with you. Again, let me know if you have any problems hearing it.
I lived in so many places. Cause see, we farm. My dad, and if they didn't do good this year on the farm, then they wanted to. My daddy would move. So I ain't making nothing. Gonna find trade with another man. Sometimes you will have to just slip off and move at night. Keep them, cause they try to block you if you didn't tell them. So we got off. My dad was a good farmer. He make a lot of stuff where the other men and things only play maybe didn't do so much in the farm. But that down there in Welcome, that's what Providence.
All right. So that was my grandmother, Margaret. And let me see, I may be able to bring that back up. I'll show you some things. Some mistakes that I made in that, even though I've been doing this for a while. What do you remember most about growing up as a child?
Okay. Well, I know it. I just know we.
Okay, right here. I do have a microphone. The microphone worked very well, but I did my interviews in a rocking chair. That's not the best. Once people get started, they rock, and with the camera, they may go in and out of focus. One thing I think I did right is the microphone is there so I could pick up sound. The framing is pretty good, but again, you just want to keep in mind what I like to do is after I ask a question, or as I'm asking the question, I may zoom in on the person. But this only really works well if you have a tripod or something you can keep the camera steady. Zoom in a little bit and let them answer. And then on the next question, as I'm asking, I may zoom in a little bit too, just to keep the scene looking different. You don't have to do that, but that is something you can do. Now, one of the powerful things that happened with this interview with my grandmother is I learned a lot about what things were like when she was growing up, so much so that I was compelled to write a children's book. I haven't put it out yet, but that's coming based on her experiences. I thought this is going to be good for my nieces and nephews and cousins who are younger than me, who weren't here to interview her. They can hear her. They can see what she went through and what she had to say. Had the opportunity to do the same thing with my father as well before he passed away. And that's what really led me today to encourage you all to get out there and have these conversations with your people. My father died last year on December 19th. He had been diagnosed with dementia, Alzheimer's, and for the space of a decade, his health would degenerate, his memory would come and go. And we knew that we were losing bits and pieces of him. And I was on the way home for the holidays, and I had my stuff with me, and I saw some cotton on the side of the road. And I said, you know what? I got an idea. So I picked that cotton and I took it home to Dad. And here's part of that conversation. Okay. Say your name for me.
Leroy James.
All right. When I show you this, I want you to tell me what comes to mind. Go.
Picking cotton when I was a young boy in high school. My mother had us picking cotton, and I got so very tired of picking cotton till one day I didn't want to pick anymore, so I started praying, asking God to send down the rain so we wouldn't have to pick cotton for a few days. And the more I prayed, the cloudier it got. After a while, it started raining, and we had to go home. I went to school for the next couple of days.
All right, that's a story. My dad used to always talk to us growing up about how he had to pick cotton and how he hated picking cotton. So that was one of our favorite stories. But I saw that opportunity as a chance to share that with the younger generation, my daughter and her cousins and my nieces and nephews. So that's what we did. And as I brought that up, I found it a few weeks ago, and I decided to edit it and share it with my family members. And many of them said these memories, these videos have helped them. And it was good to see Dad and hear Dad again. It was good to hear his voice. So this is the power of talking to your people while they're here, getting it on video, getting it recorded so that you can go back and not only look at it and gain inspiration from it and be uplifted by it when you need it, but also as an archive for those who weren't here, those who didn't have the fortitude to be living on the earth at the same time as some of our ancestors. So I urge you, I implore you, find a way to talk to your people. There are many other tips that I can go to without getting too technical about things you can do. But if anybody has any questions, please list them in the comments. If not, that's probably all we'll do today. I will mention more about the course. Again, that is coming in January of 2024. I'll be developing a course, and I'll have more information for you. If you'd like to know about that course when it comes out, please click on one of the links in the comment section, and we will make sure to get you that information. And again, if anything that I've said, again, this video absolutely free, and I'm free to answer any other questions that you might have. But if this has provided any value to you, if you would like to deposit anything, you can do so. My Cash App is $RAPHJ25. And there's no need to feel compelled to do so. I'm sharing this because I want us to have those conversations with our family. But if anything I said has helped you, please feel free. The opportunity is there. If not, I thank you for the time that you have given me. I thank you for being there. And I really hope that you have a wonderful holiday, and don't pass up this opportunity to have some really in-depth conversations, some meaningful conversations with your friends and your loved ones and your family, because none of us know how much time we have with these people. Cherish this time, cherish these moments, because time, it really does move fast. Also, I would like to let you know that, how many times have you heard somebody say at a funeral, we should get together more often than just at funerals? And then we leave the repast and don't see each other until the next funeral. That's a shame. Make these moments count when we are with our family members, even if it's as a sad occasion as a funeral. These are people who you all have some commonality with. Take some time to talk with them and share with them. Let's see, Sonia. Thanks, Sonia, for joining us. Hello. Oh, thank you. God bless you and your family as well. Definitely got you in our prayers. The Cash App is Sonia. There it is. And somebody else sent me a question, and I want to answer that. I want to honor you by answering that question. She said, how do you have that conversation with someone without making it look like you're coming to them because they don't have much time left? And that's an excellent question. I think there are a number of ways that you can do that. You can have these conversations with people who are not your family members, or who are not elderly. They can be young. It's just gathering information to pass on to another generation. How many people don't like to give their advice on something? Ask them their advice. Hey, what advice would you give to some of the younger people in our family? Hey, what advice would you give to me? You're a little older than I am. What advice would you have for me? People would relish to the opportunity to have those kinds of conversations. So I urge you all to please don't take these moments that we're about to go through with a happy holiday time and seeing family and friends. Don't take them for granted. Take some time and sit down and have conversations, meaningful conversations with those that you love. All right. I wish you all a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. Please remain safe. And if I can do anything for you, you know where to find me. Don't forget the sign up email or the sign up website. You'll find it in the comments. Be safe. God bless.